now that we've seen the scope of these problems and what it's going to take, let's talk about how we actually solve them. How do we develop a schedule and determine what's going to happen when? Um, and the priority list model is an insight into how we actually do it. So this is actually kind of an important video because when we work on the algorithms in the next couple sections next week, we're going to be using the same idea, the same model to schedule the tasks, which is basically what we call a priority list. It's a list of tasks in a particular order, and we're going to use that list to help us determine what to do when. So the reason this is a big issue is because say we go back to a previous diagraph and we're trying to schedule this task. If we're reading it, we see that A, B, and C are all tasks that had no prerequisites. Basically, they were our first three options. But without a priority list, we have no idea which ones to do first. So say we had two automotive techs trying to do all this stuff to fix our car. Should person one work on A and person two work on B, or should they work on B and C, or C and A? What order would they start on, and how do we do that? That's what the priority list is for. It's to give us a basically what list we want to, how we want to prioritize the task. So we could say, well, C is of highest priority, B is of second highest priority, A is of lesser priority. In that way, we could know, okay, we're going to do the highest priority task first and schedule them in that way. And that's what I mean by priority list model. We're going to start with a priority list, the list of all the tasks in the order we want to do them in. Then when we're actually scheduling them, we have what are referred to as ready tasks. That basically each task is designated with a particular label, and basically when it's being scheduled, it's a task which has been completed is just called completed. We have a task which is in progress, which means you're working on it, and also a task that has not yet been started, which is often referred to as ready. A ready task is not necessarily one that hasn't been started, but it's one that is actually you're able to do it now when you're talking about a specific instance in time. And I'm going to use these terms a lot as we're actually using the priority list model to schedule them. And there's a particular notation that we use, or the book uses. I don't really use them in my slides, but I'll try to use them as we actually follow the model for consistency. But like going back to this example, we would say that A, B, and C we refer to them as ready tasks. These other tasks are not ready. They will not become ready until the prerequisite tasks have been completed. So for example, D will not be designated ready, which means we can't do it until A and B have both been completely finished in our schedule. And task E will not become ready until those three are done. And so we're still going to be following this precedence diagram, but we're going to basically work our way from left to right, starting with the ready tasks. And as it becomes completed, we will often X them out. Once they've all been X'd out, then E becomes ready. I'll circle E, and then I'm able to then schedule that next. But basically when using the priority list model, we're always going to schedule whichever tasks are ready first, with whichever ones come first on the priority list, because the priority list is just a list of the tasks in the order we'd like to get them done if possible. We can't necessarily follow that list, but whatever ones are available, whichever ones are ready, we're going to do those first. And we're going to see that as we're circling the tasks as we start these problems. And just as another thing to be very careful about, you can never violate the precedence diagram. You can never go against this. Like I'm not allowed to schedule E before these three. That's just a complete fail for the problem where this is like a necessary set of restrictions. Like for example, I can't do this until I get the parts, until I do this and this. If I schedule E first, I'm missing the point of everything. So let's there's an example in the book which I wanted to work through. Of course you could read the book and do it on your own. But let's work on the example from the packet preparing for launch, and we'll do that in the next video.